Hello, my name is Andy Teach, host of Andy's Awesome Adventures, and welcome to the Paris Las Vegas. I rate the Paris Hotel and Casino as the greatest hotel casino in the world. Why? Because they have Napoleons. What are Napoleons? These beautiful French pastries, 90,000 calories full of deliciousness. You have custard in the middle. You have sugar icing on top. In fact, this whole thing is sugar, sugar, sugar. The greatest sugar high ever. It's a dentist's worst nightmare. But don't worry, folks. If you try one, you can always work out when you get home. On a more serious note, the Paris doesn't make my top 5 Las Vegas Strip hotel casinos, but it is a great place to stay and to visit and hang out. I have stayed here a few times since it opened in 1999. Overall, it's got over 2,900 rooms and suites. And just like the Horseshoe next door, they're both owned by Caesars Entertainment. This place actually was on the site of the former Galaxy Hotel, which I don't remember that one, and it cost about $785 million to build. One of Horseshoe's Jubilee Towers is actually going to be part of the Paris, and it's going to become the Versailles Tower. Now, the Paris kind of targets the middle class. I would say it's a good mid-range kind of hotel. The one thing I don't like about the casino is it's a little dark. Now, before we go inside, before I give you a tour of the casino, and I'm going to show you the restaurants, the bars, the pool, the room, I want to talk about the exterior, the outside, because I'm going to tell you something that most people don't know when they come to Las Vegas and they see the Paris Hotel and Casino. Now, before I tell you a few things about Paris Las Vegas that most visitors don't know about, I'd like to thank my sponsor, AlertBot. AlertBot is a website monitoring service that gives you peace of mind when you travel. If your website crashes or your customers have trouble accessing your pages, AlertBot will notify you of the issue so you can quickly fix the problem. AlertBot's clients include many Fortune 500 companies, including IBM, Sony, Disney, Chrysler, Travelocity, and MGM Resorts, to name a few. Check out their website at alertbot.com. There's a link in the video description. You can try this service for 14 days free. Use promo code AndysAwesome20 to save 20% on any monthly or annual plan you sign up for. So everyone recognizes the Eiffel Tower, and this one is a half-scale replica of the real one. It's 540 feet. It's got an observation deck at the top, which cost about $24.50 for adults. I went up there several years ago. I'm not going to go on this trip because I don't like heights. However, my recommendation is go up there at night and get a fantastic view of the Bellagio Fountains across the street. There's also a restaurant here, which is one of the top restaurants in Las Vegas. What most people don't realize is when they were planning this, they wanted to build a full-scale replica of the Eiffel Tower. Because of the concern about air traffic, they never did that. Another recognizable landmark is the Arc de Triomphe. This one is at 2/3 scale. But the other replicas here you might not be aware of. So for example, you see the Paris balloon. And this balloon is 150 feet tall. It cost $6 million to build. And it basically is called the Montgolfier hot air balloon. It represents the Montgolfier brothers, who invented the world's first hot air balloon in 1783 in Lyon, France. And they also did the first manned flight of hot air balloons. So that's kind of a tribute to them. Now, there's a few other things. So for example, the hotel tower design itself is based on the Hotel de Ville in Paris. Now, just across from the Arc de Triomphe, kind of on the side of the Paris, this is a replica of the Paris Opera House. Now, if you look at the hotel entrance, that is the facade of the Musée d'Orsay, a museum in Paris. And if you're looking at the hotel on the far left, this is a replica of the entrance to the Louvre Museum. So as you can see, there's a lot of replicas of famous buildings in Paris, France. So let's check out the casino. So there's over 1,700 slot machines here, 130 table games, and the casino is over 95,000 square feet. So it's a good size. It's not the biggest one in Vegas, but it's not small by any means. In 2022, Paris and what was Bally's, now Horseshoe, became the first strip resorts to host a World Series of Poker. So that's pretty cool. So the first thing you do when you check in is you'll see the beautiful lobby. And it reminds me of a French palace. So it's a very upscale feeling when you check into the lobby. Now the hotel itself and the casino, I wouldn't say upscale. It's a mid-range hotel casino, but there are some elements that are upscale, like some of the restaurants. So let's talk about food. There's roughly about 15 restaurants here, and I've eaten probably at half of them. So when you start walking from the Horseshoe to Paris, you're gonna find a few restaurants and cafes there. So for example, there's Bobby Burgers by Bobby Flay. Now, I ate there once, and it was good, but it wasn't memorable. And in fact, on TripAdvisor, they gave it 3.5 out of 5 stars. So maybe I was right in saying that. But if you've eaten there, let me know what you think about that. So there's 3 restaurant cafes here that kind of share the same space. And it's La Pizza, La Creperie, and JJ's Boulangerie. And they each kind of have their own space. So, you know, you can get crepes at La Creperie. And then La Pizza is kind of inside JJ's Boulangerie. So they may be the same thing, but you can get, besides pizza, you can get some sandwiches and French pastries and coffees and stuff like that. You'll also notice Cafe Belle Madeleine or Madeleine. I've eaten here many times. It's great for breakfast. They have a lot of pastries, croissants, coffees, that kind of thing. And they have other things too, as you can see. Speaking of coffee, you have Brioche by Guy Savoy, which is in the corner. But that's a good spot. Also, as you're walking along, you have Nobu Paris here, which is upscale. And something that's, I would say, fairly new, the Bedford by Martha Stewart. It's kind of a replica of her 1925 farmhouse. And I really like the decor. I don't know what the food is like. If you've eaten here, please leave a comment in the comment section. Once you go a little further into the casino, you have Alexxa's, which is a happening place. You have Beer Park, which I went to for the first time a couple of days ago. And that's a really cool place. You go, it's 1 floor up. And it's basically an inside-outside bar restaurant. My cousin and I, who's a local, we ate here for lunch in the shade outside, and the food was really good. I had the pulled pork, which I really enjoyed. If you see my other Vegas casinos, when I've had a meal with my cousin, he doesn't like to show his face because he's wanted in several states. Another cool thing is you can sit right up front and overlook the Las Vegas Strip, an unobstructed view. I believe you have to pay a little extra for that, which you'll find out when you get your bill. But another great thing about Beer Park is from here you get some great views of the Bellagio Fountain Show. Now, the Paris also has a 24-hour restaurant called Cafe Americano, and I've eaten here once or twice. And then next to it is this little stand with pastries and stuff, and that's where you get your Napoleon. Now, I mentioned the Eiffel Tower restaurant. It's one of the top 100 restaurants in Las Vegas out of over 3,000 restaurants. It's very upscale. I've never eaten there, but it looks like a really cool place to eat. It's a few floors up. And another upscale place here, another highly rated top 100 restaurant is Mon Ami Gabi. And I've eaten there twice. And what's great about it is the food is outstanding. So I had lunch there once, and I had the burger and fries. It was nothing memorable, but then I also had dinner there, and it was an outstanding meal. I had a shrimp dish, some great sides, creme brulee for dessert. Whatever I had to drink, I remember was really good. It was just a really excellent meal. And again, you get some great views across the street of the Bellagio Fountain Show. So I would definitely recommend checking out Mon Ami Gabi. Another upscale restaurant in Paris is Vanderpump à Paris, or à Paris. Again, this is a really interesting decor, and I believe it's supposed to replicate what it's like on a rainy day in Paris. Gordon Ramsay's Steak is here. That's another upscale restaurant. So the bottom line is, if you're hungry, don't worry, there's plenty of food choices here at Paris. There's also a few bars and lounges here. One of them, which is, I believe, Le Central Bar, is one I really like. It's kind of like out in the open. It's right near Vanderpump, and it's a great place to just people watch. And speaking of that, the Paris has a great buzz. There's always a lot of people walking around, playing the games. This is like one of the more happening casinos on the Vegas Strip. Now, there are no shows in Paris, believe it or not, but they do have a light show from the Eiffel Tower that coordinates with the Bellagio Fountains across the street. So that's pretty cool. Now let's talk about the pool. So there's basically one big circular pool, and what's great about this pool area is you're really close to kind of the bottom of the Eiffel Tower. You have a great view of the restaurant from there. The thing I don't like though, I just think there's like too much cement around here, and I think they can do a better job decorating this place, maybe adding some more greenery, maybe making it feel more like a French garden or something like that. But it's a really nice sized pool, and I'm sure it doesn't get that crowded. If you're here for swimming, I'm sure you'll be very happy in the pool. Now the pool has like 25 day beds, 18 cabanas, 8 villas. They're not cheap. You know, on the weekends, cabanas could be anywhere from like $350 to $550. They have lounge day beds, regular day beds. If you want to pay, you can have a really nice place to kind of lay out and have some privacy. Now, let me give you the room tour. The tour of our room in Paris, Las Vegas is about to begin. This is the Burgundy room. We got 2 double beds. I'm here with my brother, who got the room for free because he's here on business, so I tagged along, of course. Oh, it's an LG TV. Every other casino is like a Samsung, something different. Okay, small desk. Now on either side of the TV, there's a small closet. Down here, there is a safe, which I like. And the other thing I like is it's pretty deep. A lot of the safes, even at the Wynn, were just really narrow, and you couldn't fit, at least for me, a lot of my electronic equipment in there. But this one's good. And this is another cool thing that I like. Rather than like a mini bar, that's gonna cost you a lot of money, there's a refrigerator, mini fridge, and you buy some water, keep it in there, keep it cool. That is lacking in other casinos, so this is a plus. So the bathroom is small, but it's nice, and the shower is big. So look at that, you got a place to sit down. Okay. This is nice, very spacious, I like that. So this is the highlight of the bathroom. You know, it's a little small, but it's a nice room. And usually the Paris is less expensive than many of the surrounding hotel casinos. We upgraded to this beautiful view. So you see the pool down there. Nothing fancy, only one pool that I can tell, unlike other casinos. But we have a great view of the Arc de Triomphe, a little bit of city center over there, of course the Eiffel Tower, and across the way is Bellagio, and we'll be able to see the Bellagio Fountain show every half hour or 15 minutes, depending on the time and the day. So this is gonna be a great view of the fountains. Nice. That is high. Let's talk about location. Paris, Las Vegas is one of the best located hotel casinos in all of Las Vegas. It is mid-strip. It's perfectly across from Bellagio. You can get some great views, as I mentioned, of the Bellagio Fountains from many different places in Paris. It's just a great location. On one side you have Planet Hollywood. On the other side is the new Horseshoe, which used to be Bally's. Like I said, if you go across the street to Bellagio, on one side you have Caesar's Palace, on the other side you have Cosmopolitan and City Center. So there's just a lot of stuff right around here. You really don't have to go anywhere else, especially if it's your first time in Vegas and you want to check out some of the casinos. Paris is a good way to see some of the more upscale casinos without paying the upscale prices. So I always come here during the week, and they have some good rates at times. So this is just a great location, one of the best locations in Las Vegas. So overall, how would I rate Paris? What are my impressions? As I mentioned, it's not in my top 5, but it's a really good place to stay. Great location, many restaurants to choose from, many bars to choose from, good sized casino with all sorts of games, including a lot of Game Kings, which I play a lot. As I mentioned, there's no shows per se, but you have the best free show view anywhere on the strip of the Bellagio Fountains. You also have the opportunity to go to the top of the Eiffel Tower for some fantastic views of the strip, and again, of the Bellagio Fountains, especially at night. You have a big size pool if you're into the pool scene. I think you'll enjoy the pool. So I think the key to staying at Paris is if you can come during the week, you're gonna save a lot of money. Of course, a lot of people come here on weekends. You're gonna pay more, but it's not as expensive as, say, the Bellagio across the street or the Cosmopolitan, those type of hotel casinos. And even though it is not my top 5, I will still give the Paris Hotel and Casino 2 thumbs up.